Hello out there, and welcome to the Next Nerd 2 podcast. We're a podcast for all things nerd. My name's Chris. I'm here with...
I, for one, think General Pillsbury Doughboy just did a terrible job. It's Sam.
A day may come when the courage of pods fail, but it's not this day. It's John.
Sam, it's not Pillsbury Doughboy. It's Harvey Weinstein. It's Sean.
Ooh.
It is. No, I swear to God, it is.
Wait, it actually is?
It actually is. So if you don't know, we're talking about Return of the King. Little tidbit to just jump off right away.
No.
I swear to God, look it up. That character, now that you've seen him, they made it because Harvey Weinstein was such a pain in their ass. They made that orc look like him.
Okay.
I was wondering why he was creepily crawling after that woman.
Harvey Weinstein was a...
Producer.
He was a producer, but he was a rock against their current, or a hold up a little bit.
Yeah. So
He wanted Quentin Tarantino to make this.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, well,
Peter Jackson,
at
which
some
I'm still
point.
just like, woof.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I'm happy with how things turned out, but like, how would that have been?
let's see. Anyway,
Yes.
we're talking the final of the Lord of the Rings trilogy here that came out in 2003, directed by Peter Jackson. The Return of the King, which, I mean, let's just say that, awards and money-wise, it was the best of the three.
One Best Picture.
Do you want the list of what it won right now?
Yep. Go ahead. You just
Yeah,
brought it
like,
up.
I got the
it won
11.
11, right?
It was nominated for 11?
Or
it
nominated.
won 11.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
one.
no, it's one of those movies that the one they're nominated for is the one that they get. They also tie the record, I think, right? 11 with Titanic and something else. Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur, I
Ben-Hur
think,
win 11?
had 11, yeah.
Which one? The one that with Freeman, right?
Yeah, the one where Morgan Freeman wears that weird looking wig.
Morgan Freeman was also on the list to play Gandalf.
Yep.
So, funny little tidbit there. Anyway,
That's a
Oscars
little interesting.
Oscars for this one.
Yes.
Picture, director, adapted screenplay, art direction, costume editing, makeup, score, song, sound mixing, and visual effects.
Basically, what should have been given to all three, but they saved it for this movie.
Yeah.
Everything but actors and actresses.
Well,
Which, whatever.
In fairness, this movie doesn't have a lot of great performances in it, but like collectively, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like all three of these movies, it's like it's hard for me to point to anyone where it's like, oh, they were just absolutely amazing. But like at the same time, the script doesn't exactly lend to amazing performances. It's very like over the top.
Plus,
and
it's
stuff.
like, who's the main actor of this movie?
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Pointed it out. And who's the hero? Because
Yeah.
we already, we'll get into that
No, we
later.
didn't.
We'll
We
get
said
into
we
that
would
later.
save
we
that
saved
later.
it for this.
Let's do another number here.
All right.
Let's do another number here. So say, how do I want to phrase this? So let's compare two movies here. One, they each get a $90 million budget, and one is a blockbuster hit success, and another one, the movie just simply doesn't get released. Because that's the budget for this movie.
90 mil?
90 million.
It's also a different time.
Yeah, different time.
Okay, so 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And let's
Plus
face it, the
New
inflation
Line,
is
Green
not...
Light, all three movies at the same
Yeah,
time.
the inflation. Well, it was originally, I forget what I was reading. It was like 60 million per or something like that. But then New Line got involved, and then it became 90 and things like that. So, 93 million, all three movies, roughly, and then marketing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We'll do total gross here.
Yeah.
The first one got 800 million, 930 million, and 1.14 billion. I mean,
That's an early 2000 money.
that's early 2000 money too. So that's like
That's a
massive.
lot.
That's massive. Massive. So all three hits. We almost got a different director, like we said. Peter Jackson almost got kicked out. But where do we want to start with this one here? The hero?
I'm gonna just throw this one out there. This movie fucking rocks. This movie is so good, guys. Like watching this again, there are like the last 2 hours is just like goosebump scenes, like after goosebump scenes. Like it's really incredible, like just how much this comes together. Now, obviously, so much of it is like the fact that this is baked in of. I mean, I go off of the extended editions. This is like what, a 10-hour movie essentially. This is the last
4 hours,
4
and
hours of
20
it.
minutes.
Yeah, nice. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I have no notes.
Can I give
really
you? Can I
don't.
give you a quiz?
Okay.
Little quick quiz.
Sure.
2 hours and 11 minutes are left in this movie.
And what happens?
What part are we at?
Oh,
Is it
God.
Mary singing?
Nope.
No.
Or
Oh,
Pippin
I
sing?
paused it after an hour. I'm trying to remember what
2
was
hours
happening.
and 11 minutes. You're
Yeah,
like
that's
pretty
about an
close.
hour in.
You're pretty close.
Oh, man.
No. 2 hours is already passed.
We're
this
2
is
hours.
extended
Oh,
edition.
I
You're
watched
2
the-
hours in,
Yeah.
and then 2 hours and 11 minutes left. What happens?
Is it the end of the Battle of Gondor?
Nope.
The elephants.
It is nope.
Damn.
It is when they launch the heads into
Oh, okay.
into
Release the prisoners.
into what the hell is it called?
Minister.
Ministerial. Yeah, that is what happens. And I'm like, and I saw it today. I'm like, holy crap! There's a lot left in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot that already happened and a lot left.
I mean,
47 minutes left. What do you think happens?
47 minutes
Isn't
left.
that the-
47?
Is
That's
when
the
they're
ring
at
dies.
the start of when they're at the gate, isn't it?
Nope.
No,
No,
it's
it-
further than that. Yeah,
It's the ring.
yeah.
It's when the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mount Doom explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you have
Yeah.
47 minutes.
well, but it's a little screwed up because like the credits are like
Yeah.
25 minutes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you still
yeah.
have like 27 minutes of the
I
movie.
will say this. That last bit of this movie is so much better when you don't have to pee and you're sitting in a theater.
I agree.
I know.
I 100% agree.
First time I saw that, I remember being like, "Oh, I really have to pee."
Yeah,
but I'll
same.
wait because Mount Doom just blew up, so
But-
we're almost at the end.
It's just incredible though how this like leaves absolutely nothing at all in the chamber either. Just like everything is emptied. It's, we go from the siege of Minas Tirith to the Battle of Pelennor Fields, to the Green Guys, to going to the gate, to Frodo fighting Gollum at the end, to have like. It's just incredible, and it's all so rewarding.
And it's so weird to see a movie's length actually working for it because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this is an exhausting movie to watch.
It really
Oh,
is.
and like
But-
Yeah.
you are feeling what the characters are feeling.
It's
like
yeah.
like the battle between Frodo, Sam, and Gollum is like just a bunch of tired people slap
Yeah.
fighting, but it's like I'm feeling this. I'm at the same point where I'm just like, yeah, you're just like, eh.
You've gone so far in the journey, and it's like this is what's gonna stop you, and it's like no, like just
Keep going.
Well,
the last effort.
you know what it was too, and I watched a making of the Return of the King. It was like 2 hours, and the set itself is there's just a lot of people who are like, all right, let's finish this up here. I don't want to be here filming this movie anymore because you see the clips of all
Yeah.
the movies that
sure.
are made now. Like everybody's excited, the sets
Oh,
are
yeah.
happy.
Right.
It's like no, nobody looked
But
very
this
happy to
was-
be there.
Well, they
yeah,
shot
this was like
all
14
three
or
at the-
16 months from
yeah,
starting. So.
yeah. So this is like they've done 2 years of filming, and this
Yeah.
is at the end,
Yeah.
and they're
Well,
they're
that's
checked
not
out.
so.
Well, the first thing they thought they shot was the Fellowship.
Yeah,
at the
re-
end
At
of
the end
it.
Yeah.
of meeting it together. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, because
So,
at that
like-
point you have different casting calls, but
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the whole trilogy was filmed out of order and whatnot. So it's
yeah,
not, so,
yeah, I know.
yeah.
I'm just-
But like Sam said, yeah, the Fellowship returning for the first time, and you can kind of see it where they're like faking the whole like. And you're
Oh, yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and like none of them really cared because they were only on set for
They
like
had
a
like
month.
all just met.
Yeah, so like they were all fake.
Whereas
but-
if they filmed that like at the end of all the shoot,
Yeah.
like they would probably have that.
oh
reaction.
yeah,
Right. Yeah, because that mirrors almost what's in the first movie.
right when they
so-
all get to
Right, like the same. So obviously you're not gonna.
yeah.
There's just like some like so it goes from the sword being reforged into that great. I mean, just the music is incredible.
Oh yeah, Howard
Like,
Shore's score is
It's like even
It's phenomenal.
I mean, it's not like it's bad in the first two either.
No,
I mean,
it's-
it's good, but it just seems like it's even on another level in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get the scene of the sword being reforged right into like Minas Tirith of
Yeah.
that like great shot of Gandalf and Pippin like riding through, and the score really just beams at that point. It's It's so good. I'm just like, I'm blown away too of just like, I mean, I've seen this so many times.
See,
and
this is the one I've seen the least of the trilogy.
yeah, I
Just
think
because of
it's,
the time commitment.
Oh my god, the time commitment and like, I don't like. It's a great movie.
Plus,
But,
you
like-
never start with this.
Oh, never,
No.
never.
and like also, how many times did you watch the first two by the time this had come out?
Right.
You know, like I think I probably saw the first one at least probably 4 or 5 times maybe, and then the Two Towers another like 2 or 3.
I've definitely seen Fellowship the most because it not only did I watch it a bunch waiting for these movies to come out, but it's always on like TNT, like or at least it used to be.
Yeah, and by the time the other movies are on TNT,
Oh,
it's at
yeah.
like 9:00 at night.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You're already in wind down mode.
I will say this, and this is all the movies, just like some of the best speeches.
Oh, it's so good.
Like just amazing speeches, and all 3 of them.
Like, and I'm just like getting like hyped watching
Oh,
like the oh god, who's the Rohan guy? Theoden, like doing the ride now and slapping all the oh my god, dude! Like I'm
So
just
hang on,
hyped.
You're just pumped.
I have
You're
a-
like, give
I
me a
have a
horse.
question.
Give me a horse. I'm
they're,
in.
what they
Right
scream
now.
when they're screaming before they charge, they're screaming death, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're like, we're just gonna ride to our deaths.
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
fuck
They
it.
know. Yeah. Because even when the trio go to meet the ghosts, and they're like, he knows we can't do it because that's why he's leaving. He knows we're all gonna die. He's like, yeah, we're gonna die, but we're still gonna do it. And everybody's like, yeah, we are.
right.
There's so many moments in this entire thing where it's like, fuck it, we're gonna die, but let's just do it anyways.
Let's do it and be legends.
Yeah. So speaking of so many moments in this movie, we fall into the whole. You don't see it with the first one. We've already discussed it. The second one, you're starting to see like the extended edition really fills you in on some of these gaps here. Right. And this is definitely another case.
I don't even know even at this point what's not in.
Yeah, I've
Agreed.
watched
So the
Agreed.
intro to the extended edition was it the Fall of Isengard, isn't it?
it was Sauron.
Right, which is
Yeah.
not in the theatrical version.
They go see him and they're like, yeah, he's in his tower. Like
No,
the death.
So did you watch extended or theatrical?
I watch extended.
I watched theatrical.
So what is theatrical?
So
do?
what does it start off?
So it starts off with them. Well, it's the story of
Smeagol,
Smeagol,
yeah.
obviously, but then you see
Yeah, but one key point:
what?
you don't see him kill Deagle.
Yeah, you do.
In the extended edition, you don't see him strangle him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Or in the extended edition, you do see him strangle him.
No, theatrical, you do.
You do?
Yeah,
Then
that's
I'm
a
looking
big
at the
thing.
wrong
Which,
info
like,
here.
Amazing,
really?
like musical cue of the
Oh, yeah.
like the heartbeat, but it's the music and it's just slowing down. Which, if you ever want me to get uncomfortable, just play a heartbeat. I don't know why. When you play a heartbeat, it just makes me feel uncomfortable.
But yeah, so after that story, you meet up with Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas, and they're riding to Isengard. Isengard, sorry. For some reason, I keep thinking the pitcher, Isringhausen. I don't know why, but that's a different story. So they're heading towards Isengard, and that's where you get the Return of the King logo. And they show up, and Pippin and Paragwentuk are both smoking and eating the salted pork, or salted pork. And just like smoking, just hanging out.
Yeah, you don't see Saruman.
No,
Yeah.
at all.
You don't get that. I know it's that. I know it's the
Do you
face of
see-
Sauron.
Do you see Pippin find the eye?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's in it.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Because I was sitting there, I'm like, is this plot line in it? But
Oh,
like
yeah,
it felt
that's-
like way too important for them to cut out.
Yeah.
All right, I don't trust this article.
I
then.
noticed, and I
That-
don't know if this was the extended edition. I noticed a lot of people were calling Gandalf Mithandriel or
Yes.
Mithandriel.
Yep.
I don't know if that was in the actual one or not. I just
That-
picked up.
No, we
on
mentioned
it.
that last episode too.
What?
I didn't know what Mithrandir.
Oh, yeah. It's another name that Gandalf
Yeah,
has.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
elves call him. I guess
They call him like the Gandalf the Grey. That's another name for
Yeah.
him. or
Yeah.
something.
He goes
The
by
Pil-
many
the Great
names.
Pilgrim. That's what it is.
Hey,
yeah,
great
I
film.
don't trust that website. I'm not looking at it anymore.
All right.
Oh,
don't-
okay, yeah.
It's Lord of the Wings wiki fandom, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
What did it say? That
It said that the strangle scene was not in the
oh, I definitely watched.
theatrical, and I just watched it,
Yeah.
and it was there. I'm like, okay, I'm not reading anything
Yeah,
else from
yeah.
there.
Okay, it's banned. It's
banned.
going into the West.
So the the love relationship between the two, the Rohan lady and
Aragon.
no, Faramir.
Faramir,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's developed. And you're
Yeah,
like,
you kind of don't even care at that point. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's
sure,
just at the
let
end of
him
the
be
movie.
happy.
At the end of the movie, they watch it. They show the clips of everybody around. And you're like, wait, are those two together now?
Hey, wait,
But
wait,
I do feel like, oh, Faramir's always second choice.
Poor guy.
And I know I've been in conversations with people. I don't know if it's anyone in this room about the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
Their lack of involvement.
yeah, it's kind of like if in Endgame you didn't even know about Captain Marvel and she just shows up like destroying a ship, You're like, what? Why? Okay. I
we always
don't care. I don't fucking
Well,
care.
they were supposed to be. They were originally the plan. That's the whole thing.
Well,
They-
that's a
what?
fan theory.
no, that's pretty much been confirmed because of the path that that the Fellowship was taking them right to where the Eagles are.
Where are the Eagles?
Oh God.
In the Hotel California.
The Eagles are coming.
Anyways,
They're
and
standing
that-
on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
But yeah, but like
Wait, what do you mean? Okay.
because they didn't. If you look at the path that they
this is
take.
the fly you fools.
Yes, the fly you fools. So Gandalf's whole plan was to take them to the Eagles, but not tell them because Saruman and Sauron have spies everywhere and are watching everywhere they're going.
When was that established?
What?
Fellowship of the Ring.
This is
Take them to the
this is a
Eagles?
fan theory.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Is it-
Fan theory. This
Well,
is where. Okay.
everything that I've stated so far, other than the plan was the Eagles, all of that stuff was found in the movies and in the books. That Saruman and
This has never been confirmed by Tolkien or his estate.
I'll say this too. I know I said no notes. One thing I do that's not the greatest. There's a lot of lines. I'm like, what did they say? Like, and it's just because people are shouting or something happens. Like, it's not a real.
Plus, this is Tolkien, and there's like a million things in this
Yeah,
world.
and there's a lot of like unexpected words that get thrown in. Like, I didn't realize. I've seen this movie now almost 10 times. I didn't realize they were saying death the whole time. I thought they were just screaming.
yeah. No, I thought they were too.
this is also, I would say, the most CGI heavy of all the movies
Yeah, and
by
it
far,
does
and it's dated
a
at
little
times.
bit. It definitely
whenever
see the
it's
scenes the most.
a human
Yeah.
CGI like Legolas, you can see that like, oh,
Yeah.
this is not
First
good.
time you
The
see
elephants look fine.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I
Um,
But
think
when
part of
Legolas
it-
is climbing up, it's
Oh, it
like
looks bad.
he looks all gangly and
Yeah,
weird.
and I think part of it is just it doesn't look great on the 4K TV either.
oh, see,
like,
I
it's-
wasn't
Yeah,
looking. I was
it hurts
HD.
because of the TV progression and the
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
versus
True.
if you were to watch it on an old like tube TV
Theater
it'd
or
be-
even in theaters.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's still not bad. It's still pretty good, you know?
Like
It
I
still
did
holds
notice
up.
like the first time you see Gollum too, that looks kind of
In
shoddy.
Fellowship.
No, in this one, it's like early
yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah.
You can
that's-
see the outline of the CG. Like,
He wanted
Also-
to live action that too.
yeah, no.
Well,
Also,
they do for when they do the like
Oh,
transition
yeah.
scene.
I
and it
will
looks
say
so
this
weird
about the
and
transition
disconcerting.
scene. Like, I forgot how like creepy that entire
It's
scene
very
is.
creepy.
Yeah.
In part, probably just because it's the practicals. But even like you go into like Shelob's lair and it's all like webs and stuff. It's just so. It just mixed so well, and then like you're going through Minas Tirith. It's like actual sets. I mean, it's filmed in a certain way, so they can pull it off.
Right.
Because I think they built Minas Tirith, Chris, where they built Helm's Deep, right?
Yes, same place.
Yeah. So
And it just shocks me that they did this for a $90 million budget. Granted, it went a little bit further than today's money, but still, $94 million for this
yeah.
movie. That's with the amount of costumes and extras.
Can we
and all
just
that
talk
other
about
stuff.
how Peter Jackson has an obsession in the series of getting him like hit by like an arrow or a spear?
I forget, where does he get it in this one?
In this one, he's on the pirate ship.
Oh, that's
He's the one that gets hit by Legolas.
Oh.
And then
I
in the
realized
previous one, he's
Oh.
one of the guys
It's
in
more Gimli
Sea.
comedy in this one too that
Oh,
got
yeah.
cut out.
There's
So-
less pirate stuff in the theatrical. Too.
There's like no pirate stuff in the
Yeah.
theatrical because
So there's like no context for why
So-
they're coming
so they-
out of the
they
Well,
mention-
he mentions
they mention from
Elrond
the sea.
mentions it,
Yeah, they men from the sea, and you see the ships and all the guys on the ship. Next time you see them, they pull into port, and they're like, "Oh, better late than never,
Yeah.
I guess." And then the
Yeah,
trio jump
It's
out.
actually a little better that way, I think.
I honestly, it's such a. I don't want to say cliche. It's so like stupid, but it works. Where it's like, it's not the pirates, it's us, and then all the ghosts just like from behind.
I
it.
will say this, like, okay, maybe that flows better, but like that is a good scene with them like threatening the pirates on the seashore, and then all the ghosts come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause how did
but
they
I can
get on the
totally,
boats?
I can totally see that being cut for. I mean, obviously it was. Cut
Well,
for
yeah,
time,
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I think that's an easier choice.
That's one of those you can kind of fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
You know.
And even the ghost, the mountain stuff is really good too. Like this is like so many different movies within, and like
Yeah.
the tone shifts, and it's like a horror movie in some points. Like then you have Shelob. Like it's really incredible all the
Suspe-
ground
yeah.
they cover.
It really is. And then another thing I'm just thinking about the stuff they cut that like I actually could have done without was the bad guy with the helmet when they go
The
to the
mouth of
gate.
Sauron?
Yeah. I just
Yeah, that's a
mean,
little
whatever.
unnecessary.
It also is like Pinhead out of nowhere. So
and
it
it's
is-
at the point of the movie too where you're
Okay,
like,
he's
let's
not-
come on,
let's
we
go.
know where
Yeah.
we're going.
Let's finish
you
it
know?
up.
He
here.
is not in the theatrical.
Yeah.
he's
Yes.
not. No.
Cause,
They cut that out.
Because also like the whole like is Frodo dead or still
Right.
alive?
Like,
It's
you
like,
know.
but like the characters, they already are uncertain. Like you don't have to add more uncertainty to that.
Yeah, and like, were they ever really just gonna go home? Like, you know?
Although I will say this, my favorite part of that whole like battle at the Black Gates is who are the first ones to charge in?
Merry and Pippin.
Merry and Pippin. The simple courage of hobbits.
Yeah, and the genocide of orcs.
That too.
Can't forget that Aragorn did some genociding.
Well,
Or
well,
not him. It was more Frodo. But,
A bunch of them did escape, like
they did. Okay.
because they had them surrounded.
Yeah.
The ones behind them did escape. You do see that happen.
I mean, I think that's still technically genocide.
But
if
yeah,
there's-
that's
I
a
don't think
whole
that's
bunch of
genocide.
stuff.
I think that's they had it coming.
Oh, all right, fair enough. And speaking of going home, let's talk about the 30-minute ending here. If there was ever a movie to tie up any loose end,
It
completely,
tied up every loose end.
I will say
possible.
this: when you don't have to pee, I honestly don't mind this. Like,
Right.
there's something so nice about seeing these characters once again being happy.
Yeah, like 10 hours later, it's nice to see.
But
that
it,
happen.
like, it is.
It's such a great bookend because the beginning of this is like everybody's happy in the Shire. Gandalf's shooting out fireworks and stuff, and it's like that just sets up all of this so much. Where it's like, oh yeah, we've lost all of that,
Right.
And then at the end, we gain it back, but at the same time, we see the characters kind of struggling with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Where
Like,
they're-
Especially
when they're in the
Frodo.
the four hobbits where they're sitting in the bar
Yeah.
and they're just watching everyone be happy and they're just like
They have
I
no
love-
idea what's going on.
I love how
outside
the
the-
Shire is completely oblivious.
The
Now,
Shire.
Yeah.
Shire.
I think in the books it doesn't end as well with the Shire. I think there's it like gets set on fire and stuff.
We'll get there at some point.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Check back in 4 months, maybe a year, maybe 2. Depends how much Chris is on the toilet, really. So,
For clarity, that is not a toilet book.
okay.
okay.
The words are too small.
Your vision blurs a lot when you're on the toilet.
Sure. Oh boy, didn't expect to go down this road.
Anyways, yeah, the ending, it ties everything together, but at the same time, super depressing because you literally had these people that, like, they've been. So we'll start, the main two, Sam and Frodo, where they literally went on this,
Right?
13-month.
You just want
13
Frodo
months?
to be happy.
Well, they went on this 13-month journey, literally to hell and back. And, they're just trying to get on with their lives. And then Frodo's like, yeah, no, I can't do this anymore. Peace out.
It's like, I kind of understand.
I
with
understand,
Frodo.
too,
It's
Yeah,
like,
but it's just like you suffered with him for
Right.
this whole time.
but like at the same time, I also understand Sam's whole thing, where it's
Yeah.
like he's just a simple guy. He just wants a simple life.
Yeah. And
He's not a Baggins.
there's that super depressing line where Gandalf literally says, our friendship ends here. And it's like, oh my God.
Although I do love the line, "Not all tears are
Oh, yeah.
are a sign of, what is it, sadness or
Yeah.
evil." Oh no, it's not all tears are a sign of evil.
Yeah.
I just love that line.
Yeah.
But it's just so depressing.
grief
and-
would have been a better word for it, but
but,
whatever.
It's
But-
evil, right? Like that's what. the line-
Yeah, it is-
evil
it
is
is
grief.
evil.
yeah.
I just watched it 2 minutes ago.
But the best part of the
You're gonna
ending.
go home and rewatch this whole trilogy, aren't you?
I don't know about that. I'll definitely go watch some of the scenes again.
But,
though. Great speeches.
Best part of the
Just- oh,
ending is still when Aragorn becomes king and he sees the four hobbits and they start to bow and he says, "No, you bow to no one," and everyone bows to
I'm
them.
gonna be honest. Cried when that
Oh,
happened.
without a doubt, that's a cry
Like
moment.
every time I see that, I just cry because I'm like, it's so true.
It's awesome. It's just I wish the editing or not CGI, but like the kind of overlap was a little bit better because you can see like the platform and the
Oh, can you?
yeah. it's-
I was too busy crying.
Yeah, I know. It's like you're just so
Too caught up
so
in the
much.
moment.
It's like it's a
knew it
good
was
good
coming.
moment, but every time I watch it, I'm like, all right, well now I can see where this is, and for some reason this person's hand is the size of the foot, and it's just.
Oh, whatever.
Well, you've seen the movie so many times, you pick up on these.
Yeah,
But I'm
no, you know,
crying every time.
Yeah.
there's one shot when they're all leaving Edoras, and like Mary is small and has a small horse, and it doesn't look good. I think it's
There's a
just
few.
the TV like just doesn't work because it's like, not to get technical, but like when you have it like interlaced and it's like kind of, it's not as sharp. Like, which, if you're watching a football game is like what you want, but like if you're watching a movie, you kind of want it to be a little more blurry and stuff like that in some sense. Anyway, the one that got me this time was the I can't carry it, but I can carry
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
And oh my god, dude, they're just like bros being bros.
like John, you mentioned before the podcast, I should get a dog and name it Frodo.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I was like. So every time I pick up that dog, I will have to be. I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you.
That's what
And
you
it
should do.
should
You
be
should
a
give
toy.
him a
It
little
should be
ring.
a toy
yeah.
dog too. So every time
Yeah,
you
Just
have-
exactly.
always picking it up.
All right, let's get into the thing that we teased in Fellowship. Who is the real hero, Sam or Frodo?
I think
I'm gonna.
Frodo.
You're going Frodo.
I think it progressed. I think Two Towers, Sam became the hero.
Okay.
Two
So
Towers.
I'm going to go a little controversial here. I'm going to say all the hobbits.
Oh.
I think
They all play their part.
They do.
They're all the
There's-
heroes.
They're no
They're-
small. They're more heroes than Gimli and Legolas. I'll
Yeah,
give you that.
they are the bravest characters. They are always willing to put themselves in the harm's way.
Selfless, yeah.
And all
Like
the
the
major
simple courage of hobbits.
all the major events in all three movies, there is a Hobbit present.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The fall of Saruman.
Yep.
The charging of the Black Gate.
yeah, like
Saving
Pippin,
Gandalf.
Pippin and Merry take down Saruman by themselves.
With a bunch of trees.
Granted, but they were the ones who convinced the trees
That's
because they
true.
were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, let's go to Isengard because we know you're going to be shocked
All right.
by what he's done to
But
the forest."
but I'm excluding those two hobbits, Sam or Frodo. Which one's the hero? Because if you think about it, it's like two different stories going on. You have what's left of the Fellowship and Frodo and Sam. Like
I don't know if I can pick between the two because like they both play their part. Like
I understand they both play
Like-
their parts, but who would you say is the hero?
Frodo carries the ring, but Sam carries Frodo.
Mm-hmm.
I think in some ways it's irrelevant.
Yeah,
I know you're making
I
this
know.
pick.
Yeah.
But like it's different kinds of courage too. It's
Yeah.
like what Sam just said. It's like Frodo has to carry this awful burden, but Sam is there to like back him up and like push him and like he's much more reluctant than Frodo is too.
yeah.
Well,
He's the guy who doesn't want to leave the Shire.
no, at first though, but like Chris said, around Two Towers, I feel like Sam does step up into that role of hero. He's always got Frodo's back. He's always looking out for what's best for Frodo. I mean,
once he realizes his knots can't stand up against an elvish rope, he loses it.
Well, again, I think his as John mentioned with speeches in this movie, I think that one of the best speeches is his at the end of Two Towers before they leave. Right there in not Isengard, they're in Osgiliath, and then he's doing that whole speech.
Of was it
the stories?
the
we
stories
used to-
people tell?
Yeah.
you know.
It's just
yeah,
I think he becomes the hero.
he
man.
definitely
Look, regardless of what you say, this has become like one of the top-notch bromance memes ever created.
Oh, yeah.
Is Sam and Frodo.
But in this movie too, you have like two instances. One when like Frodo's like starving to death, and he's still giving him the food,
Lembas bread, yeah.
and Sam's not eating, and he's like, "Oh no, we got to ration it for the
And
walk
like
back."
the hopefulness of Sam.
For what,
like,
Frodo? For
he's
what,
staying-
Sam?
he's-
The journey
yeah,
home.
The journey
Yeah.
home, and he's staying hopeful for Frodo, and it's not until they're like literally on the gates of not gates, but like at the bottom of Mordor, like ready to walk
We're
in.
not going home.
And he's like, "There will be no journey home," because he's like, "Oh, we won't have any water for the journey home," and he said, "There will be no journey home."
Can we just point of clarification here, and this kind of just leads to friendship development. In the first movie, it's always Mr. Frodo.
Yes,
When does that transition to just Frodo?
he still calls
I
him
think
Mister.
yeah,
It's kind of a
Is
mix.
it
Yeah.
the thing? I know it's a mix, but I definitely know that in the beginning it was always.
I think
Mr.
he's
Frodo.
when more exasperated. He just drops the Mister.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, but it's still Mister Frodo.
okay. Because I mean, he is
Yeah,
like
even
30
like-
years his senior, technically. But
Oh, is that what it is?
yeah, Frodo's like 50 something, and
Yeah.
Well,
Sam's-
hobbits live a long
Sam
time.
is also
Well, no, the ring makes him.
Oh,
doesn't
yeah, true.
isn't Sam technically
So
Frodo's
being,
gardener
being
too?
within the
So-
vicinity, the books point out being within the vicinity of the ring actually extends your life as well.
Yes.
So not just having it in your possession like
Gotcha.
Bilbo. Frodo isn't. Frodo had
Right.
his 50th birthday when,
Yeah.
he's clearly not 50.
Right.
Right.
Aging is weird in this world.
Oh, fantasy, you know.
Well, in this world in particular. Because what Aragon is like 120 something.
Yeah, and
But he
he's a
comes from
Dunedain,
elves.
so
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes from elves.
Right.
Is it elves?
Yeah.
I think,
part
no,
of
I
it,
think
right?
he's like a certain.
Well,
he's a-
no,
he's
the
a Dunedain.
Dunedain are a cross between humans
is
and
it?
elves.
Okay, gotcha.
Because like that statue in the first one, he's like cleaning off. That's his like
His mother, right?
great grandmother or
Or
something
I
like
think it's
that.
his mom.
Who is an
Oh,
elf?
Yeah, don't they say like, "How old are you?" or something like that?
Yeah, like is an elf, and it,
87?
she took either him or her son, or I forget what the position of that is, but like took him to Rivendell to protect him.
Yeah.
So much better explained in the movie than in the books. And Coda, this is why they won't adapt the screenplay. They took a boring book and made it into a fantastic adventure.
Yeah, and I was actually kind of struck at a couple other filmmaking choices too, of like, really just the elves have a subtitles. They're the only ones speaking a different language. Like the orcs aren't, like they're not speaking Klingon or whatever. Like you know what they're saying. I mean, they're speaking in a very like specific kind of like low class British kind of accent, but which is definitely a choice. But like you can understand. I don't know. It just helps to watch the movie. It's like, come on, let's just
Yeah,
make
and like
this simple.
Elvish is just so iconic of a language, you kind of have
Yeah.
to
Yeah, but
include it.
But
like
it's
the
okay
orcs-
too, because a lot of times when they're talking in Elvish, they're specifically talking to make sure other people don't understand too.
Yeah,
Like,
and,
it
and
fits.
also it's like so many words in this world are Elvish, where it's like, oh yeah, like you kind of have to include it.
Right.
And they fixed it in the Hobbit trilogy. Orcs speak orc.
Yeah. Another reason. How many of those movies have you guys seen?
I've seen
all
all
of them multiple
I've seen
times.
all three.
Okay.
I actually like
all
them.
3 and the Rankin and Bassett. Chris is alone.
Okay.
They're terrible.
For
I've
the
seen
Hobbit.
one.
The Hobbit.
terrible movies. And they ruin continuity for these 3 movies.
Sure.
No, because at the end of the 3rd Hobbit movie, he knows that Sauron is back. Gandalf knows Sauron is back. He was because the necromancer
yeah,
is Sauron.
yeah,
but
yeah,
then
yeah.
in this movie, he's like, let me do some research. Oh crap, Sauron's back. Like,
Spoiler.
yeah, like you already knew this, like in the last movie.
He's
It's-
very
I mean,
forgetful.
It's like a very loose continuity because like he discovered the ring, and the ring is what led him to make that conclusion that
Yeah.
it's his ring.
Remember, he doesn't even remember that they called him Gandalf the Grey. Like, he has to be told that.
He's so old.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just forgetful.
Also, though, so that scene at the end is great because, like, Frodo, I mean, like, he's no idea Gandalf's alive. How does
Yeah.
Frodo, why is no one like, hey, just want to tell you, you're not dead. But, because it's like everybody, because, like, Gandalf's dead. How does he know he's not dead? You know what I'm saying?
I guess, yeah.
Like, it seems very, like, pillowy and, like, heaven-y, like, lighting-wise.
And we did have that conversation earlier between Pippin and Gandalf about
Yeah.
what happens when you die.
No, yeah,
There's
yeah,
so
yeah.
many, there's so many, like, beautiful things about, like, afterlife and stuff like that. Just little moment. It's,
Yeah, the sandy shores, the green country behind.
Right? You almost want Gandalf there when you go.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
He seems like just a comforting guy.
Telling me
Yeah.
just.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
he's been there, so I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's died.
However much a god can die. Yeah.
He's not a god. He's like an angel.
Yeah, I can't. Okay, I will read the books mostly just to get some clarity on that.
What?
Because I haven't in the first book. It doesn't really mention
That he's a.
that he's like an angel.
I
or
believe
God
you have to read the Cimmerillion.
Oh, fuck.
That's when it goes into stuff.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting that from
Writing's
this trilogy.
boring enough as it is. All right.
I mean, it definitely doesn't. You never get that sense at all in the book or whatever.
No.
Like, I mean, you kind of get that when he comes back. There's some sort of
Yeah.
divinity in that, but apart from that, how far in are we?
Less than
Okay.
40.
I don't know if we can talk about this just now.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with this. Which one's your favorite movie?
Fuck, that was literally okay. Yeah, which one's your favorite movie?
Yeah, which one's your favorite movie, guys? Mine is Two Towers. Love it.
Having just watched this, and not as a recency bias, but definitely confirming Return of the King with like
And-
a bullet.
I cannot argue with that.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, all 3 movies are solid. And, well, Chris, what's your favorite?
Fellowship, no Golem.
All right. Sam?
Oh, it's like trying to pick your favorite child.
Right? I can't like fault you guys for liking
No, you
either
can't.
of the others.
There's no wrong answer.
I mean,
here.
I only have
I'm-
my least favorite part is the Golem stuff, and
I mean,
and
I
that's
guess
just why.
King because it just has some of the best speeches.
All right. And like I
And
said,
like when I think of this, I just think of the great speeches.
And the thing is, though, too, if I were to just watch one, it would probably be Fellowship.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the best fight scene, the best like set piece, is Two Towers.
Yeah.
Towers, yeah.
They all have something.
Yeah.
You know, I just think as a complete package, but this movie would also be, you know, it doesn't work obviously if you haven't seen the first 2
Right.
either. You know, it's really tough to twine them. You know, to
So-
separate.
It's
them.
really just like a 12-hour movie.
Based
Really is.
based on your answers and the conclusion we got to, is this the greatest trilogy of all time?
Ooh,
The only thing that sort of makes me hesitant to describe it as a trilogy is that it is kind of just one movie.
I agree, but it's 3 movies.
it's 3.
It is a
Yeah.
trilogy.
It is a long one movie then, if you're looking at
Right.
it like that. What are the contenders?
I mean, you got the Star Wars trilogy, was Godfather trilogy is out there.
I can't even think of those movies in the same context.
Yeah,
though.
we're not
No,
talking
I-
like Jurassic Park. It's
it's that
even close.
Well, so
Dark Knight.
think of it this way.
Dark
Yeah,
Knight.
Dark Knight
Dark
trilogy. But if you
Iron
sit
Man.
down, if you sit down and think about all three movies, what we just described here, what's your favorite? How we all came to the same conclusion. There's
look,
no wrong
I'm-
answer. I sit down and I say, "What's your favorite of the original Star Wars?" If anybody says A New Hope, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, you're not
Like,
wrong.
and that is probably the
You're right though, but yeah, I'm with you.
yeah.
It could be a
All-
Spells trilogy
But
of
is
all time.
that?
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at. I don't know if that's necessarily a weakness. And like the New Hope is like so. It's almost like Citizen Kane in a way that like you have to like just respect like how
Oh, I
different it
agree,
was
yeah.
versus like what had come before it.
Right.
That like it's almost impossible for us to kind of like have that understanding.
even-
Because I think you talk to people who were like kids in the 70s. I think you'll find people who will say Star Wars,
Maybe
like New Hope.
New Hope.
But
yeah.
even going further, there's still flaws with Empire
Yep.
and Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, the
Storytelling
6-1.
flaws, but
there's there's obvious like flaws and gaps
granted,
and things. And
granted, this is adapted from a trilogy of books.
Yeah, and was purposely shot as one thing.
Right.
Matrix would be another one.
Yeah, I made but like the issue with a lot of other trilogies is
The ass falls out somewhere.
yeah.
and this is,
There's a few where like Jurassic Park, it's like good, okay, not that good. The Godfather, what part 3 is considered like the worst of the 3.
yeah, it's a weaker one.
you
I mean,
know.
the first two are like
right,
two of the greatest movies ever, but
right, but then
yeah,
yeah, and then it depends on who you talk to for Star Wars. Either the first one's the worst or the third one's the worst.
right.
It goes back and forth depending on when you were born, basically. This one, it's solid straight through, and you have to watch the whole trilogy to actually have an opinion on which one's the best. You can never jump into like Two Towers or Return of the King and start there. Whereas I feel like other ones you can.
I think you could jump into Two Towers.
I don't think so.
I don't
That's
think.
a
I don't think
gap.
you can jump into two.
that's a cap
King.
there.
I don't know about Two Towers.
No, I really don't think you can jump in.
I don't think
At all.
I don't think you understand the context of the Fellowship.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean totally blank?
So like, let's say you've
didn't
never
watch
watched
anything,
these.
and you just go into
And
Two
Two
Towers.
Towers is on.
I
Boom.
didn't
Yeah.
understand
Whereas
the
like you
question.
can jump into like Empire Strikes Back and be like, oh yeah, I kind of have an idea of what's going on.
I mean, the characters are blank enough and are generic enough in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of the point of it.
Right.
I mean, I guess part of that is just that those are three separate stories. This is one story.
Yeah.
Which again doesn't mean this one's better or worse. It's just it's not exactly apples to apples in the same way. I mean, I would say there's nothing that compares to this as far as anything else that's like trying to be this like a single story. Like this is far and away the best. I mean, look at The Hobbit. Like, it's just like smokes it.
God, you really could jump into Empire without
Yeah.
seeing the first.
Yeah.
I just thought like you could go right in cold turkey and not.
I believe I did growing up. I think Empire
I think
was
I did
the first
too.
one
I think
watched.
Empire was the first one I've seen.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're right.
I remember Jedi being
weird.
the first one I saw.
Yeah, and Jedi is the best.
I believe I saw Jedi, New Hope, and the last one I saw. was
Growing
Empire.
up, I believe Empire was the one I saw the least.
Back to Rings.
Anyways.
You guys all saw this in theaters, right?
Oh yeah,
I saw.
Yes.
I didn't see Fellowship.
I don't think
theaters.
I saw all three.
I don't think I saw Fellowship. in
Every
theaters.
Christmas day.
yeah.
Christmas Eve.
Eve, we went to go see these movies for 3 straight years.
Yeah, I don't think.
It was awesome.
Also, another feat to come out year after
yeah.
year right on the same weekend.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. That's very impressive.
really
Granted,
is.
things are different now, but still, it's even
And
back
it's-
then. It's still pretty impressive.
Especially to, you'll just never have another experience like this of like this movie. Part of it is that I was 10 when this came out, but like when Star Wars was coming out, I knew Star Wars was coming out. When the sequel to Jurassic Park was coming out, I knew that, and that was 97.
Yeah.
I had just no idea about any of this.
Yeah.
And for this just to like come on the scene and just to be, probably like the best trilogy.
Well,
It's-
it was December 2001, so
Yeah.
advertising was a little
That's true.
Sure.
little subdued with everything else that was going on.
Right.
Why? What happened?
Diamondbacks won.
Oh, all right,
yeah.
yeah.
Mo blew it. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, the only criticism I have about Peter Jackson after watching this is after these movies, he basically tried continuing with this style of filmmaking of making an epic, not just with the Hobbit trilogy, but even his King Kong movie felt very much like he was trying to make King Kong into Lord of the Rings. I mean, granted, he didn't make; he just produced. Was that Mortal Engines?
Mortal Engines,
Yeah.
yeah.
And even that had some like you could tell Peter Jackson was involved. Maybe he didn't direct it, but he definitely was an executive producer on that.
It definitely has the look.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that if you watch anything before these movies of Peter Jackson, and it's not like that. And then everything after, it's like, oh no, it has to be this giant epic
But
type adventure kind of thing. And
but that said, there is a market for those types of directors. Like there are
Yeah.
specific
has
markets
Peter
for them.
Jackson done an original thing since The Hobbit?
I don't.
Well, I don't know. Do you count documentaries?
No.
Okay. Well,
it was specific.
I don't want to
Peter
like
Jackson?
just write
No, that
those
was
off. though.
Guillermo del Toro.
Those are two really good documentaries.
Oh, I
mean,
agree.
The Beatles thing is like ridiculous
But,
because it's like
yeah.
6 hours. But
Right. No, I don't consider documentary like us on this podcast. We do not give review numbers to documentaries. We might review them, but
Yeah.
we won't give numbers.
I mean, he did. I mean, has he done something well? Because he did do that movie, The Lovely Bones, which I have not seen. 'Cause
which
it's
I've
kinda
seen, which
fucked
is
up.
another one of those like I need to make it as epic as possible, starring
it?
Mark
Okay.
Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Enough said. Yeah, no, everything after these movies, he's gone like as big as possible, and it's just nothing's
He
working.
needs to start going small
Yeah.
scale again.
He can't try remaking these movies ever again. Like not ever again, but like go back to your roots.
He's got to make the movie the story leads him to,
Right.
Not try to lead the story to the movie
Right.
he wants to make.
Right.
You know, I've never seen any of the movies before this. The Frighteners.
Frighteners I have with Michael J. Fox, and I believe Gary Busey's son is in that. I believe he's the bad guy.
There's a guy that
Jake
no.
Busey, that's it.
yes, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I've seen that one, and I've heard what's that zombie one he did?
Dead Alive.
Yeah, I heard that one is like good. Very gory. I've never actually sat down and watched
Oh,
that.
Peter
He
Jackson.
actually wrote
Brain
the
Dead.
Mortal
Brain Dead,
Engines.
Brain Dead, that's right. He what?
He wrote the Mortal Engines too.
Well, isn't that based on a book?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's-
I'm just saying.
Yeah, which we've watched on and reviewed on this podcast.
We reviewed Mortal Engines.
We did.
We definitely like randomly. I think that was a COVID movie.
Yeah, I
think
think
it was
so.
early COVID.
I think it came out on HBO.
2018.
So maybe we did it in 2019. But yeah, we
was on
definitely
streaming,
we
yeah.
definitely did it.
No,
on
I think
streaming.
it was COVID. I remember doing it.
But it was
doing the
close enough
podcast.
where like
Yeah.
it was the end of 18, so like it
November 2018.
hadn't been on there forever. Yeah.
Whew, that's $100 million budget.
Yep.
Ugh.
Any other Return of the King thoughts?
I mean, I'm just treating this as us reviewing the whole trilogy finally. 'Cause
I have to remember the line is the courage of man will fail, not the strength of man will fail.
Yeah. Well, that's well. You're just saying the hobbits like encapsulate like incredible courage for.
No, like Aragorn's speech at the end.
Yeah.
There will come a day when the courage of man will fail. I always say the strength of man will fail.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Don't.
But
fuck
it is
up.
not this day.
But it's not this day.
That was in the trailer.
Wow.
Did you watch the trailer for this?
No, I just no, but I watched it 20 times
Oh, all right.
in
Yeah.
a month, probably.
Good point. Good point.
Sometimes those things you watch enough. It's like the Sears air conditioning commercial. You see it enough, you just remember it.
Oh, fair enough. All right. Any, I
Not
guess,
a
final,
torture.
final thoughts here?
No, just an incredible trilogy. I mean, it's incredible to think that this got made and this was so well done. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like that's a beautiful miracle in and of itself. It's just that how
Yeah.
good this is, the fact they greenlit it all at once.
The fact
what
that
it-
New Line was like, sure, go to New Zealand and just make this.
Yeah. And it's a perfect look for it too. Like it really was great, you know.
Yeah.
This sort of like frontier and I don't know. So it's so weird to me that like they just decided to film the spin-off series or the series there, even though like no one's really involved. Like it's not really continuous.
It's such an iconic look at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after watching this trilogy and reviewing it all, how excited are you for the show? Like, are you more excited, less excited?
I don't know because of the movies, but more because of the trailers. I'm excited to see the movie.
Yeah.
More excited.
More excited? Like you're ready to get back into this world
Oh
again?
God, yeah, I'm ready.
I'm very glad we revisited these.
I am too.
And it's a good time to do it. But yes, I feel like my my excitement for the show is just based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
looks promising.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm ready for some like let's take fantasy way too seriously, but not in like a dark, realistic way like Game of Thrones. Just like
Yeah.
people giving like really long-winded speeches again. I'm ready for it.
Oh boy.
Because there weren't any of those in Game of Thrones.
True.
All right, we'll see. So that comes out later on this month, and we'll talk about
And
this stuff.
are these untouchables?
Oh yeah.
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 Do not remake these.
I just don't understand. I mean, how to some extent,
Yeah.
you know?
Like I understand where we were like when they first announced, oh, Amazon's making a Game of Thrones. We were like, okay, maybe they're just gonna make a long version of this.
Yeah.
But like even then, I feel like I was just making excuses.
Yeah. I remember seeing Sean Austin and who's Frodo?
Elijah Wood.
at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
You were with
yeah.
Sam. You were
Providence
with me.
Comic Con.
And
Yes.
they had two different answers on who the hero is.
Yes, they did.
I-
Oh, what was it?
Aston said Frodo, and Elijah said Sam.
Oh.
Yeah.
How much is that like the standard line that
Oh,
they,
I agree.
they say every con?
But one thing I've noticed now that we're 20 years removed from this, like Sean Astin and Elijah Wood are still friends to this day. They spent a lot of time doing that. But the two, Billy Boyd and
Dominic Monaghan.
yeah, they're still very
Oh,
close
they
friends.
have a
Oh, okay.
podcast now.
They have a podcast.
We're
Weren't they in a
friendship on
band?
Tinder or
Weren't they in a
something.
band together?
I
Or
don't know.
one is in
No.
a band, but
yeah. I think
okay.
Billy Boyd is in a band.
Pippin is in a band.
Yeah. But I know during COVID, you remember the that was it Cameo, whatever app where you could pay a celebrity and they would do something. So they were in
Fire.
it together. What?
Sorry. The Fire app was supposed to be
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's right. It was. But yeah, so I don't know if it was Cameo or the other one, but they were on that together. Like they would send you messages of the two of them.
Really?
So they're both very close still.
Jonathan Rhys Davies could make a killing on Cameo if he's not on it.
Yeah,
I just imagine
think
him
he
like,
is.
saying happy birthday.
Yeah. Which, when The Hobbit was being made, he was actually approached of reprising Gimli, and he said, "No, I'm done. I'm done with Lord of the Rings. I'm not."
That's
I'm not doing
fine.
it.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I was fine.
I don't
I'm
think
okay
that's
with
even
that.
coming from like I'm
Yeah.
done like I'm upset.
Oh,
Like, I think that's
yeah,
just-
If you guys want to watch something interesting, speaking of COVID, you know how they had those like get-togethers
Oh, the
of,
table
like,
reads and
table
stuff?
reads.
All
Have you guys-
over the place.
Have you guys seen the Lord of the Rings one?
I have not.
No.
This was pretty good.
Okay.
Was it everybody?
Yeah, it was everybody.
Really?
They got everybody together.
Oh, all
Via
right.
Zoom. Pretty much. That's how they had
Wow,
to
that's
do
how they did. But like some of those are pretty interesting. Like I've seen a few of them.
Yeah,
know,
they're pretty interesting. The community one is really good because Pedro Pascal is in that just
Oh, yeah.
because they couldn't get the original guy and he's just losing it the entire time.
Did it? I think there was one they had like the X-Men with
Yes,
Hugh Jackman,
and,
but then Ryan Reynolds showed
crashed
up, and
it.
then everybody left.
Yeah. Those were some of those things. Some of the stuff that came out of COVID was really nice, and those
Yeah.
were one of them.
We had some shining lights.
Yes.
All right. Let's
Wrap it up.
Let's wrap this up here.
Let's go into the West.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we'll be looking for our next con on Classic. We do have a couple suggestions. But there's gonna be stuff coming out, so we're probably gonna push that out for a little while.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be talking Prey next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
So check that
Bullet
out.
Train.
Bullet
probably.
Train.
But we're
I
gonna
will
see
try
Bullet
and
Train.
I will try and
We
see
are.
Bullet Train. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and see Bullet. I have some days off, so. Anyway,
Tuesday off because you can join us.
not
Or anyone listening.
Not Tuesday. Well, I mean, off is like jury duty in quotes, but it's like. Anyway, so if you like this kind of classic, we have the other two movies and more on all the streaming services for free. They are labeled Con Classics, quite clearly. So those are some of our most listened to episodes.
They
by
are.
the way.
They are.
If you like any of those, and if you want to submit us a request for a classic on Facebook, you can do so. Facebook.com/NightsUnderTwo. Also check out YouTube. I didn't do another video, but there is the video out there. So that does it
More
for us for
will
this
join.
week. Till
Bye.
next time.
Have fun.
From across the distant shore, why do you weep? What are these tears upon your face? Soon you will see all of your fears will pass away, safe in my arms. You're only sleeping. What can you see? On the horizon, why do the white gulls call? Across the sea, a pale moon rises. The ships have come.